Hello, welcome to the August Parks and Recs Commission meeting. I'll take roll. Kate Smith here. Sue McFadden.
Present.
Dennis Allison.
Here.
Demita Dubose.
Present.
John Jones. Dennis Kapelinski.
Here.
Jennifer McConnell.
Here.
Robert Smith.
Here.
Brendan MacArthur.
Here.
Zachary Witt.
Here.
Kim O'Farrell.
Here.
Okay, so now we need to approve the agenda, but we also need to add a few things before we can approve it. So for, on 8, I would like to add 8A, public comment. And then for 1A, we just need to approve and vote on the agenda, so that needs to be added. And then for 5, old business, I would like to add 5A, staff spotlight. And would anybody like to approve the agenda after these changes?
I will make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, agenda passes. Moving on to approval of the minutes for June and July,
So I have some questions on that.
okay?
We approved the June minutes at the July meeting. Right here.
Did we vote on those minutes?
We did.
It says motion to approve the minutes of June 27th, 2023. Motion was made by Jones and seconded by Kapelinski. No vote taken. So we have to approve them.
Okay. And there's a couple, there's one typo in one sentence in the public comment after Jones thanked old officers for their services and wished the new one success. Meetings look good. I don't know what that sentence means.
It's a typo.
And there's another one where the word of should be, word off should be of.
Yep. I can make those corrections and resubmit. Or we can make the corrections and vote, understanding that those were typos.
It's on it.
Okay. Would anybody like to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes as amended.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. All right, moving on to 3, election of officers.
I have a question on that also. It states that we're going to have a treasurer. I'd like to know why.
That is just part of the parliamentary and Robert's rule. We don't have to have a treasurer. I put it there in the event we did want to have a treasurer.
What would a treasurer on this board do?
That's a good question.
We have no funds.
So it's there because that is part of Robert's rule in the book, kind of what we follow. But we do not have to have one. We're struggling with the secretary, so I didn't foresee we would have a treasurer on our commission as well. It's just listed there for an option.
Do we want to take a vote to eliminate that position and make note of that?
Yep.
Does anyone?
Do you have to
All
make
right.
a motion?
I will make a motion to eliminate the treasurer position from the Parks and Rec Commission.
Support. Oh, sorry.
Other one, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we will take treasurer off. For chair, I would like to nominate Sue McFadden. Do I need a second for that?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, Sue is the chair. Okay, vice chair, I would like to nominate Demita.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, Demita is the vice chair. And for secretary, Brendan has been kind enough to agree, so I would like to nominate him.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, Brendan is the new secretary. Financial reports.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions or comments? Or Kim, do you have anything to?
No, I think I put everything in the packet. I did have I'm typing fast, my eyes are really bad, so I did have a typo for the fiscal cycle that's presented in front of you. It's July 1st through July 30th. The financial reports that came to you from the staff from the rec department was not a full monthly report, meaning it was 3 weeks of the month. So yes, we're kind of going backwards, but I want to present to you a full month report from the first to the last. And we're really going to focus on programs, the program reports. That's what I had put in the packet for you. Did you have any questions about the revenue and expenses for our programs?
Well, just like a formatting thing, can they reduce the size of the font? Because it's like you've got one word is like on the back page of a document, and it's kind of hard to follow.
Okay. So you want the font to be smaller or bigger?
I'd like it to be able to fit on one page.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing was the event canceled due to. and-
Yeah, it's on the back, yeah.
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 And that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was only run over, I believe, so.
Yeah.
And again, I get this information from all the managers in Parks and Rec. Everything is taken right off of our Civic Rec portal. And these are exact revenues and expenses. Okay, so. And like I said, you were presented at the last meeting, like 3 weeks of July. This is the full month. Instead of being cut off, I think it was like the last week or something. So I just wanted to give you a full month.
So, okay. The expenses aren't going to be itemized anymore?
As far
Is
as,
that correct? Well, it's before, what we used to have was the revenues, and they were kind of itemized, and then the expenses were also itemized, and so then if somebody had a question, they would know what everything went to, but it looks like,
I itemized it by actual category, as far as like seniors, youth, adults.
Fitness room is, I can see the expense and.
Yeah, I try to put them side by side. I think in the last report, you had a block up top that said revenues and then a block below that said expenses. I'm just trying to line them up side by side in Excel, so you can see the exact match.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, for an example, on senior, you see fitness room, our revenues were $294, but there was no expense. Simple.
I like that way better.
You know, parents, like youth dodgeball, you're gonna see the revenue from the program, and the reason there's no expense is because we already have all that those balls and all those types of things, so, and Mr. Downey's running that, so it's pure revenue. So, I was just trying to focus on those programs, put them side by side.
Okay.
Easy to read.
I think it has a good look to it, especially, it's clear and revenue, expense, and then, total, so. I like that view. I mean, that's my opinion, but
Okay,
Yeah, this is fine.
okay. Any other questions about the financial report?
Hearing none, let's move on to old business, our new staff spotlight. Lori from Dance Express is here, if you'd like to come up.
How are you?
I'm here this evening to introduce myself, to go over some basic outlines of our program, and if you have any questions, to answer those. A little bit of background, I started with Garden City Parks and Rec in 1983. Dance Express, before it was named, had been going for a year, and there were 15 students when I came on board. As to date, we have 338 students registered in our program, and those 338 students take up 621 spots in our program. That is phenomenal. That is what a Parks and Rec program is. So I started the program in 1983, just celebrated 40 years in June, and look forward to several more years. Not going to commit to how many, but several more. We offer 9 types of dance classes, and this year we offered a tumbling portion of our section for Parks and Rec. Currently, we have 43 tumbling students to date, which is really good for just starting out. We have 8 teachers. Out of those 8 teachers, 6 are previous students of Dance Express. So accomplishing my goal was to make children love dance, and they danced, they went to college, they came back, and they teach for us. So I'm pretty proud of that. We have 53 dance classes offered and 7 tumbling classes. Right now, every class will go. It does not look like we will have to cancel any. That also is an outstanding accomplishment. Do you have any questions? I mean, I know you've seen the reports and the financial reports, and you know that we do okay. Do you have any questions for me as far as what our program offers or what you would like to see offered?
Last month, you had $34,000 in revenue, so I think it does better than okay. I can't say enough good things about this program. It is just, my girls dance there and they love it. It's just it's a safe place. You know, they love coming, they want to take every class they can. It's just a really great program.
We love your children. What I want to say about our program is too, we do have a lot of studios in the area that we compete with. What makes our program different is we don't do competitions. Some of the girls want to do competitions. I don't believe in it. My whole life I did competition. It was very, my confidence would, you know, it wasn't so much the kids, it was the parents. So we just want to provide a fun and enjoyable atmosphere for the girls and boys. We make our program affordable. So one student can take 3 classes as if they go to the studio, they take 1. So I would much rather produce a well-rounded dancer than a person that was only limited to 1 class. So because it's affordable, I have students that take 9 classes. I have a family of 3, and they're failing 30 classes a week. That's amazing. So we're doing something right. So I'd like us to keep continuing on that path. And like I said, if there's ever any concerns or questions that you have, or you say, well, why do you do it this way, or just ask. Our recitals, we sell about 800 tickets each show. So it's great. Thank you for saying the nice things that you said.
You have earned it.
For the city, we got a great facility over at Radcliffe now.
It was my dream.
Yes.
When you, the whole time, I mean, you guys saw Maplewood, right? I taught in
Yep.
Maplewood for a long time. My body feels it. But it's not yours. So my picture of what my dream dance room was accomplished. It's amazing. And people that come in from years prior, they want to see the new place, they're in awe. So I really appreciate all the hard work that's put in.
I love what you guys are doing in the community, where you have your girls come out at one of the events. The egg hunt, that was super cute that they, start the event off with that, because it gives more of the community a first, eye view of what these girls are learning, and just something fun to do, so, and they get to dress up and have fun, and just like the city comes out and gets a chance to see that, so that's really cool.
In a couple of years, as I have girls leave, I bring a new batch in.
Yeah.
So like this year, I brought 15 new girls in. So I think our total for the girls this year at that event will be 55.
That's cool.
We also do try to do the parade every year too.
Yes.
We usually have one of the largest groups in the parade besides the bands. So yeah, and it's fun. I love it.
Yes, well, thank you.
I appreciate your support.
Thank
You can tell that you love it,
Lori.
though. You do a great job, thank you.
Okay, moving on to new business. A, rules of procedure. I hope everyone looked this over and read it. We need to take a vote on this to approve them. Do I have to get like a motion first, or, okay. Somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Garden City Parks and Recreation Commission rules of procedure. And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, rules of procedure passes. B, agenda format. Questions or comments? Would somebody like to make a motion?
I will make a motion to support the agenda format.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, agenda format passes. Okay, last, changing our October meeting from the 31st to the 24th.
I thought we took a motion, or did a motion before not to have a meeting in October. So we're going back to having a meeting in October?
No, we had switched it to the week before,
Okay, I thought we said no. Okay.
but
Was that prior?
I think the-
When was that?
I think at our last meeting.
I think the one right before you
Oh,
came.
okay.
It was before she came.
it was the June
That was the
27th
Was it?
meeting.
Okay. Are you guys okay just taking a vote tonight, if you're okay with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor of moving the meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we'll move the meeting from the 31st to the 24th of October, 2023. Okay, moving on to communications and upcoming events. Can you take us through all these, please?
Yeah, just a couple of updates. The DNR Playground for City Park is open for bid right now. It is on the city website and BidNet. The bids are due on September 5th at 2 PM, and I will be opening those up with the clerk. And those, when you open up a bid, you document them, how much things came in, all that fun stuff. So that will take place on September 5th. That is for City Park. That was the grant that's kind of been lingering. It got approved by DNR. Remember, I told you I was going to push, and I kept pushing and pushing, so we made it. 5-year master plan survey, that concludes September 8th. That is our online survey for the 5-year master plan.
Have you got a lot of responses for that? Good.
Coming in,
Good.
coming in. And then per McKenna, that is our group that we're working with, there should be a draft. They're speculating September 19th there'll be a draft, and I'll make sure all of you have a copy of that. Again, it is a draft, okay? So that is the date that was given to me. Some other events that are coming up, again, I'm focusing on September. Our senior luncheon fund, these are all new. Our skateboard competition, the Toledo Zoo trip, the Kid to Kids sale, family movie night, wildlife safari, and the kids superhero dance. That is all in our program guide. I know they are hitting the houses. I think a lot of them came today. Some came yesterday, and so they are coming. So there's a ton of programs in there. Very proud of the staff that put this together. This was all the Parks and Rec staff, so I thank them very much for their hard work. And again, we are always, on the back page, we are always looking for program instructors. We just found a sign language instructor, so you'll be seeing a flyer come out for sign language as well. So the hard part is if someone reaches out after the book is done, we can't get it in the book. So we produce a flyer, we put that out on social media, that goes with the city and the Parks and Rec page, because programs are gonna roll out before and after the book is published. Does that make sense? So we're always trying to keep the community busy. We also have our Parents' Night Out, Kids Dodgeball. I could talk all night, but it is all in the book. So that's what's coming down the pipeline. Any questions? And even on social media, I do follow it sometimes. Residents will ask questions or have trouble registering. Sometimes we don't see the comments on social media. So if residents are watching and are having trouble registering, just call Radcliffe. Any of the staff available, we can help you register and go through that. Because they'll say it on social media, but we don't see it. So just pick up a phone and we will help anybody with the online registration process. So that's all I have.
Any questions or comments regarding communications? Okay, open discussion. David Kniezek is here. Hello. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Always great to see our representatives here.
Do you want me to do something?
Yeah.
I think I have a rough idea of maybe what you want me to talk about, but give me some guidance and I'll jump into it.
Well, your plan with the county money for the cities, how you're breaking that down, what it can be used for, what it can't be used for, if you know any of that. And then I know when I was speaking with Katie, any kind of information or ideas you might have for the
I said
commission.
all your hopes and dreams for Garden City Parks and Recs. Let's hear them.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, just by way of introduction, my name is David Kniezek. I'm the county commissioner for Dearborn Heights, Garden City, and Inkster. This is my first year having Garden City and Inkster on the commission. Previously had Dearborn Heights, Redford Township, and Livonia, but redistricting. And I made a pretty strong push to get Garden City back because I love representing Garden City when I was in the House and in the Senate. So, you know, journalists, we don't go away, we just go somewhere else. Get more to reality, right?
Bill Bullard did that really well.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, good call back there. So one of the things that, you know, as recently as 2020, I'm brought some notes here. So the Parks Village is assessed for all of us here in Wayne County, 0.2459 mils. Generates some of the money, roughly $10 million every year that the county uses for park improvements, Hines Drive, Elizabeth Park, the first county park in the state, the whole 9 yards. One of the issues that historically had been debated at the commission was how that money was doled out to the individual county commission districts. It used to be based upon a percentage of what that municipality was paying into that millage. And so what you found is you had commission districts that included Highland Park and Hamtramck, for example. They would get $5,000 a year back as their share of that commission millage that they can invest in the community. And then you would go to Livonia and Northville, and they would get $157,000 every year to be able to dish out to the community. So when they went for the millage renewal back in 2020, they added some language in there at the request of the county commission saying $50,000 minimum or 15% of the total pot, whatever is greater. And so that way, they set this floor of $50,000 for each county commission district to be able to allocate to parks projects in their district. So as it works for the 3 communities that I represent, 50,000 is on the smaller end. We get the greater of 50,000 or 15%. We get 15% in the 8th County Commission District, Dearborn Heights, Garden City, Inkster. It totals out to roughly $85,000. And so if you look historically at how that money was given out, and believe me, there's strong opinions about, you know, the decision that I made to change this formula. Most of those strong decisions are from my own hometown of Dearborn Heights. I understand the argument of, you got 85 grand, what percentage of that total money came from Inkster, Garden City, Dearborn Heights? Just chop up that 85 grand using that same percentage and dish it back out. If we were to have done that with this 2022, 2023 chunk of money, Dearborn Heights would have gotten $54,000 of that 85. Garden City would have gotten $22,000 of that 85, and Inkster would have gotten $8,500 of that 85. And so I understand that, I get that, but for me, I'm looking for investments that are of a size that can be transformative in the community. We can make so many different arguments about equity and how this is being distributed, and the fact that the city of Inkster will continually be left behind by way of this process. Dearborn Heights will continue to outpace everybody else year over year over year. And Garden City is kind of in the middle, right? And so for me, I went through and I looked at how could we dish this out in perhaps not an equitable way, but in an equal way, and then try to, I think, tip the scales a little bit back in the favor of smaller communities. And if you talk to the mayor or the city manager, what have you, we'll have all these conversations about, even look at the ARPA money. You know, larger communities were getting fat chunks of cash coming in from the federal government. Garden City, a couple $1 million, Inkster, a couple $1 million. The smaller communities are always being left behind. And so what I decided to shift towards on a 3-year rolling cycle then is taking that whole chunk of money, giving it to each community on a 3-year rolling cycle. So I did that because one, just, I mean, you can do the math quickly in your head with Inkster. Inkster would get 8 times 3, $24,000 over the course of 3 years. With this new formula, they get 85. So it's a $60,000 increase for Inkster. Garden City, $22,000 a year over 3 years, $66 grand. Now it's going to be an extra $19,000 if we use this formula. Dearborn Heights, as I can tell you, as I told you, has some strong feelings about this. You know, I'll fight those battles in my own backyard. That's okay, you don't have to worry about it. So I put it on a 3-year rolling cycle, starting with the city of Inkster, again, recognizing that they've been the hardest hit using this previous formula, but then putting Garden City second in line. So the current fiscal year that we're in, 22-23, that $85,000 has already gone out the door for the city of Inkster. To your question about what you can use it on, be creative, right? In the case of Inkster, if you go to the Booker Dozier Recreation Center in Middlebelt, they had really wanted to get the pool back up and running in the community. So that $85,000 was chosen to be invested in the pool facility in general. So it's about to be September. We're about to cross into FY 24-25 or FY 24. Pardon me. And so Garden City is up, right? And so what's going to happen is I'm going to get a letter from Wayne County Parks and Rec. They're going to say, David, who do you want this money to go to this year? And I'll say Garden City. They'll send a letter to the mayor and the city manager saying, you know, David has selected Garden City for the $85,000 this year. It'll probably go up a little bit, you know, a little bit year over year, but roughly. And then it's on the city, and I don't want to get in the way of what your process is, Mr. Mayor, or the process of this commission, but however you choose to go about that sort of collaboration and identifying where you want to invest that money, that then gets communicated back to the county. We draft up that, I don't know if it's an interlocal agreement or interagency agreement, but the agreement between the two entities, and then the money goes out the door on a reimbursement-based model. So it's not a straight-up grant where it's in the bank account one day and you get it out. You're going to spend the money, you're going to get the receipts, you're going to send it to the county, and we're going to process it as reimbursement. You have the ability to spend that money down over a 2-year period. Can you ask for an extension? Yes. Do I suggest you walk up to that line and ask for it? No, I do not. But when you get the money, it's not like you have to spend it right away. You could be looking to make an investment from the community, taking some of your CDBG dollars or taking some of your GF dollars from the city, marrying that up with that $85,000 to make it a more transformative project. You can choose to stack some of this money over a period of years. I'll use Dearborn Heights as an example. They took, for Van Houten Park, it's in Silver Lane, just north of Ford Road in Dearborn Heights, they took their budget allocation from 18-19, 19-20, and 20-21, married it up with 70 grand from the general fund, and I think $100,000+ from CDBG to get to a $300,000+ project that they had 2 years to spend from 2021 to 2023. What they had happen earlier this year was falling into an even bigger pot of money than they had originally expected. We changed the agreement. Dearborn Heights is putting $400,000 now into this project, but they were able to take that county allocation, stack it over a period of years, so that it could be even bigger and even more transformative. To be candid with you, Councilman, and to the Commission, I don't live in Garden City. I love Garden City. I don't think it's my place for me to come here and tell you what to do in your community or how to spend that money. I think that would be inappropriate. But I want to be a good partner to you, you know. So whatever it may be, wherever it may be, wherever that interest is, of course, we ask that you collaborate with the administration and the mayor and his team. And I'll tell you, the fact even that I was invited here today is a level of collaboration that I really, really appreciate. Because sometimes, in some instances, people come to expect the money, and I get a letter sent to me one day, and it's, David, you will do this. You will give me this money, and it will be for this purpose. at the end of the day, they're probably right? They can totally bully me around about it because I'm not gonna cut off the money. But at the same time, I think it just goes so much farther, and the collaboration, the communication, and the transparency and the partnership is just better by interactions like this. So really, I appreciate that, and hopefully that gave you a good idea. I feel like I've talked forever. And I got my first tray of my new Invisalign in today, so like it's extra painful. So I'll stop talking, and I'll turn it over to you all. If you have questions about the money, or where it comes from, or how it divvies out, or why I chose to change that formula, I'd be happy to entertain your questions.
I do, I have a couple of questions. Now, the other commissioners, are they doing the same formula, or are you unique in taking this formula on?
I'm not sure what all other commissioners are doing. I think if I were to speculate, most of them do the percentage-based distribution. I mean, to be honest, it's politically expedient and defensible, and you don't piss anybody off. What you paid into it is the percentage you get back. It's the smart thing to do. But again, I just feel really strongly about, particularly Black and brown communities like the city of Inkster that continually get left over in this process, and then medium-sized communities like Garden City that get left behind in the process as well. So
8,000 for Inkster, that doesn't go far. We took all of our 20 one year, and it went to a couple parking spaces and a sidewalk. That was it. So I think this is a great idea. I like it.
I do too, because you know how much money you're going to get
Every
all of a
third
sudden,
year.
every 3 years.
right,
And you can decide what you want to do with it in advance almost.
right.
But there are parameters. I mean, it has to be used for Parks and Rec, something to do with Parks and Rec, and you can't use it for, you can't use it for the building department. I mean, it has to be used on certain items,
Yeah.
correct?
So off the top of my head, I can just tell you what the criteria is. If you want me to go back and get you something more defined, I'm happy to do it. But I've seen a level of creativity that the county is receptive to, and at the end of the day, they want to be able to honor the requests that come from the commissioners on behalf of their district. So it's easy, I think, sometimes to think just the park is a standalone entity, or a recreation center like a Booker Dozier. It could be something Radcliffe related here, something at Rotary, whatever it may be. You can get creative with that stuff. The one thing that I've not seen it used for, but I'd be interested in pressing the issue, is program as opposed to standalone structures or facilities. This is a good reminder. I'm going to talk about another thing here in a second, related to Parks and Rec. But now that you asked a question, now I have a question. So whether you want it or not, I'm going to go back and get the answer so that I can have it in my back pocket as well, too. I'll make a note here while folks have more questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else from Mr. Kniezek?
Just left it out.
Thank you for coming.
I've been on this commission for 5+ years, and you are the first representative that has ever come, so I appreciate it. I think it's important for the community to know who's representing us and all the information that goes along with it. It is it's hefty.
It's nice, when the councilman reached out, we don't know everything that's happening at all times in the community, and we want to go to stuff like this. We want to be able to have these interactions. At least I do. So I have never spoken to a Parks Commission anywhere, in any role, at any level, and so I think it's really cool and fun. I'll say one more thing, only because it's Parks and Rec related, but I'm going to tease you a little bit, because I'm not going to give you all the facts yet, because we're just not ready to roll it out. For the longest time, let me back up. Every county commissioner has an office budget for the mail that you do to the district, for constituent services, for your staff, the whole 9 yards. I always run a pretty lean operation, so much so that since I joined the commission in 2020, I've given back to the county about $30,000 every year, which I think sucks, because everybody else is spending it on like the friends and family plan, and some cousin, some this, some that is on their staff and what have you, and it's just not how I operate. I also think I'm being responsible and I'm being punished for that, and I have to give the money back to the county. And it doesn't go to anything that I want it to go to, it just goes back into the general fund. So we have been really advocating, a couple of us who come in under budget every year, advocating to the chair of the commission that if we are able to come in under budget every year and the budget of the office is to support the district, could we take that money and invest it in community organizations? And what would that look like and how could we go about that process? So this year, again, I came in $30,000 under budget. I split it in half. $15,000 to 2 organizations in the district. One of them is in South Dearborn Heights. The second one is in Garden City. They know it's coming. They filled out all the paperwork. I believe the check arrived in their hot little hands yesterday. But we're going to be doing a big check presentation in October. And so, you know, whether it's through you, Councilman, or the chair, I think it'd be great just to extend an invitation to you all to be there for that check presentation. $15,000 that we're going to be investing in recreation opportunities for kids here in Garden City. And I think it's super cool because, you know, now I go into next year, the more responsible I can be with the budget, the more money I can push back out into the community too. So just a little teaser there. You can probably put 2 and 2 together at some point. But whether it's through you or the councilman, I'll extend an invitation in October to come out to that check.
That is very
Very
noble
nice.
of you.
Thank you very
That's
much.
awesome.
Thank you.
For sure, for sure. That's the fun part.
All right.
Big checks.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you for coming out.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any open discussion from the public? Okay. Okay, Kim, do you have anything for open discussion?
I don't.
Dennis?
Oh, I do have one thing.
Okay.
Radcliffe will be closed on Labor Day, just to let you know.
I just want to say congratulations and thanks to Sue, Demetria, and Brendan for your new positions. And thank you for everything you've done. I know you're going out. And I would like to wish Jen a happy birthday.
Thank you. 29. 29.
I have nothing.
Happy birthday, Jen.
Thank you.
I echo your statements. Katie, thank you for everything that you've done for this commission. I know that you've been doing it for a while, and thank you. That's what I want to say. I do have one other comment, though. Last week after the storms, I'm sure many of you lost power, and a woman that lives a couple doors down works remotely, and she's like, what am I going to do? I don't have power, I don't have internet, what am I going to do? So she went to go up to the library, and she was going to go sit in her car, and she thought, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to go to Radcliffe. And she went to Radcliffe, and she said it was fantastic. She said it was quiet, it was comfortable, it was just a perfect place for her to go and work. So I just wanted to, share her thoughts with everybody and how grateful she was to the city for having, the building and the ability for people that don't have power to be able to go there, and especially in the world we're living now with everybody, most people working remotely, at least part-time. So that's all I have.
That's awesome. I just wanted to talk about the Rec Connect. I hope every resident got one. If you did not get one, you can pick them up at Radcliffe, or did you put any here?
Yeah.
At City Hall? Okay, it's thick this time, probably the thickest ever yet, so that's great to see. That's all I have.
Only thing that I have for tonight is regards to the master plan. I know, this has come up in the past with the last one, people saying, I didn't know about it, I wanted to attend, but I didn't hear about it. This is a great, source because it does have it in there. But one of the things that I'm wondering is that we do have a couple of senior activities coming up soon. Is it possible to have a laptop out during those, or someone that could help them, take that survey? Even the towers, I'm sure they get these, right? I assume that they get these, but maybe someone could, just make an announcement over at the towers or anywhere that the seniors have like activities going on, like Radcliffe, would be just maybe a suggestion, because I know, a lot of the residents you know, or on social media too. But if they're not, maybe that could be one way,
Yeah.
so.
We do, as far as filling out the survey, we do have hard copies as well.
Okay.
Those
Yeah.
are located at the front of Radcliffe and over here at City Hall as well. And if any, you know, we have the computer lab. Any staff, we're there all day long. They're more than welcome to come over. If they want to learn to do it online, we'd be more than happy to show them.
Yeah.
But we do have the hard copy as
Okay,
well.
perfect. That's
a great
Available.
idea,
Yep.
Jen.
Yeah, I
like
just
that.
thought if there was a way to make an announcement to them, to the seniors, so that they know that there's a hard copy or that, but maybe if you're at Radcliffe and, you know, with these senior events,
And Zach, you made that announcement at last council too, that with the survey, because the survey is closing the 8th, so.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
but there's a lot of people that have
Yes.
responded, so.
Okay.
And I
And
know
then we have the
it's been
commu-
posted on a couple Facebook pages, and I think it's gotten a good,
Yeah.
you know, amount of clicks.
I can
and
imagine,
fill-outs.
I definitely can imagine the response to that. I just know that there's always, you know, those that don't have social media.
Right.
And don't watch the council meetings or don't attend. I'm
That's
just
the
thinking of
hard
those.
part.
Yeah, it is. And you're never going to please everyone. I understand that. And, you know, there's going to be people that are still going to say, I didn't know about it. And you can only do what you can do, so.
When
Right.
is the master plan meeting again? I know it's
Yeah, it's in the
October.
book. It is
October 14th, I believe.
October 17th,
17th, yeah.
6 to 8. This is the in-person at the Radcliffe, where we're just going to have a kind of an open forum. All the staff will be there. This is kind of a brainstorming meeting. What would you like? That, for people to come speak, I guess you could say. There's no particular format. It's just bring your ideas. You can write it on a sticky note. You can put it on a note card. However you want to relay the information to myself and the team, we're going to take it. So, open forum.
Anything else, Jen?
No, that's it.
Okay. Anything tonight, Demita?
Thank you for always answering my questions. I really appreciate that. So I enjoyed working with you in your role, and I look forward to the opportunity. I do. That's it.
That's awesome. Just like Kate, I wanted to say I was very impressed when my Rec Connect came today. It was very thick. There's a lot of programs and stuff in there, so I'm excited for all these new programs for the residents.
Okay, first of all, I want to say welcome. I don't know Kim. I didn't get a chance to meet you. I'm Robert Smith. I've been on vacation for a little while.
He has the greenest lawn in Garden City.
Has the what greatest lawn?
Greenest, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And thanks, Sue and Demita and Brandon, for you guys' new positions. And I got one more thing to add. What about the fence on Henry Ruff going to the park?
This has been an ongoing issue. There's a little a cut through from Henry Ruff to the park.
Okay.
Mike will have to show you it. And the fence has needed to be replaced for a long time. So this is Robert's project. He has been very vocal about it.
When he walks into the park to walk. Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
DPS, or DPW, I'm sorry, are they still, is it on there?
It's on the list.
Okay,
The list of to-dos.
okay.
And that's it.
I just was gonna call out that Movies in the Park tomorrow's still on.
You got it.
Come up, see me, get some free ice cream, bring the kids
At Rotary?
at Rotary.
It's Maverick, right?
Top Gun Maverick, yep. So a little bit more adult-friendly from the other movies that we've done this year, which I'm excited for. But yeah, come out, bring the family, free ice cream. The Hockey Association has snacks, drinks, popcorn will be for sale. That goes to fund and help their program as well.
And what time is it?
Dusk, so 8:30-ish.
I thought, I saw something that said 8:20.
Yeah, I think about 8:20. It's
Yeah, it just
right
stuck
when
in
it
my
gets
mind.
dark, boom, we go. So between 8:20 and 8:30. so.
It's open to interpretation of dusk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
When it's dark enough to see the picture on the inflatable is kind of when we start it.
And the weather is forecasted to be good. And just, I did get a couple calls about why the movie was canceled last week. With our vendor that comes and sets up the movies, we have to make a decision we had a deadline by 3 o'clock. And at 3 o'clock, it was cloudy, it was windy, it was awful. And Mike and I are like, oh, Lord, we're just looking on this, right when you call it, bam, it got beautiful. So, I talked to a couple residents, I explained the situation, they understood. I said we're rescheduling, they're very happy, but those types of things happen when you have to make those decisions. It's tough, and it happens, so. But we're thankful that we could have a makeup date.
And with the size of the structure and the wind, you
The
know,
wind was the big
one bad
concern,
thing
yes.
Yeah, the screen is-
could
Yep.
destroy that screen, and we don't want that to
Could've.
happen.
Gone flying, so,
Well, and then what came after wasn't pretty, so.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so, but weather looks good for tomorrow, so we should be good.
Okay. Moving on, the next meeting is September 26th. And would somebody like to make a motion?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second that.
Aye.